right, welcome back. I got to get serious here for a second. Combine starts next week, Christine. Draft in April. And I'm not a guy that does mock drafts, but Joel Klatt, my friend, released a mock draft this morning. He released it, and he had Baker Mayfield going 5 to Denver. Apparently, they've legalized pot in Colorado, and everybody's high. And then Mel Kiper, my friend as well, he had a mock draft released today. And he has Josh Allen, a quarterback from Wyoming, going number 1, and Darnold dropping to 5. Apparently, that herb has wafted out to the East Coast. I can't take it anymore. I'm here to protect you. I don't do mock drafts, but I can't have you driving to work thinking Baker Mayfield's going to go 5 and Josh Allen's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. I can't do that. I have to protect you. I'm a football guy. So for the first time in my life, I'm going to predict the top 10 picks in the draft. John, are we taping this? I am here to protect you. I'm a public servant today. You cannot go to work thinking Josh Allen from Wyoming, who completes 56% of his throws in that conference, is number 1. So here's going to be my mock draft first time ever. Number 1's going to be Sam Darnold. Even the Browns can't screw this up. He's thick. He's trunky. He's smart. He lives for football. He's passionate. He's big. He's got the arm. He's a playmaker. He completes over 60% of his throws in a legitimate conference. He's been in big games. He's better in the fourth quarter than first. Even they can't screw this up. Cleveland takes Sam Darnold. Number 2, the New York Giants take Josh Rosen. Don't screw around. Pat Shurmur, the new coach, is an offensive genius. You give him Josh Rosen, let him sit behind Eli for a year or ship Eli out of town. You have got the guy that can go toe-to-toe with Carson Wentz 20 times in the next decade. He's a smart coastal kid. New York City will eat him up, and you give him Shurmur, they're going to be conjoined at the hip for a decade and win a ton of football games. Number 3, the Colts. They could go in different directions. I think they take Ezekiel Elliott with maturity. Saquon Barkley, Penn State running back. Remarkable talent. Smart, tough, fast, elusive, can block, can catch. He is Ezekiel Elliott, but a grown-up. No problems. World-class kid. And don't you owe Andrew Luck a backfield mate after what you put him through? You could go get a defensive end. You owe Andrew Luck a guy that can carry it 21 times, and Andrew Luck doesn't have to throw it 34 times. He can throw it 26. You owe him that. Number 4, Cleveland. Cleveland's going to take maybe the best player, the safest player to take in this draft, Minkah Fitzpatrick, a safety for Alabama. He's all-world. You're going to have Sam Darnold leading your offense and Fitzpatrick leading your defense. This kid's for real. He has no bust potential. He really is a special player. He'll be your defensive captain within a year. Number 5, Denver already acquires Kirk Cousins, so they're not going to get a quarterback. What they're going to do, because they have good defensive personnel, they're going to help Kirk Cousins. Because Kirk Cousins has shown in Washington he's a better quarterback with Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson, a playmaker on the outside, and they'll draft Calvin Ridley, a wide receiver from Alabama. Now, they could go to the offensive line, and I think that would be a good pick too. But I think they're going to give Kirk Cousins a star playmaker at wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. Jets have 6. Jets would like to take a quarterback, but in windy New York, you can't go with Baker Mayfield. They're going to draft their Lawrence Taylor. Bradley Chubb is a defensive end. Ironically, also from the state of North Carolina, like Lawrence Taylor. Listen, they cannot roll the dice on a 5'11 kid from Oklahoma who played football in a pillow fight conference. They're going to go get their LT, Bradley Chubb, tremendous pass rusher from North Carolina State. Tampa Bay's got a lot of good players. They have an atrocious offensive line. It's the only part of Tampa I don't like. They've addressed their receivers. They've addressed their defensive line. They've addressed their secondary. They could use a running back, but Barkley's the only kid that you can draft in the top 10 picks. I think they go out and get Quentin Nelson, a guard from Notre Dame, who is many believe the Zach Martin of the draft. Notre Dame had a very good offensive line this year. This kid is the best of 3 really good NFL players on that line. Tampa Bay's offensive line is one of the worst 3 or 4 in the league. Jameis Winston has protection. It helps him and assists the running game. Number 8 is Chicago, a dark horse team to make the playoffs next year. I love Chicago's running backs, and I like their O-line, and they have a pass rusher. I also think they have decent corners. Now they have an offensive-minded coach, and Mitch Trubisky, they get him the closest thing to Percy Harvin the NFL has seen. Christian Kirk, wide receiver, Texas A&M. Trubisky, they lost Alshon Jeffrey. Trubisky's got his backs. This is a very underrated offensive line. They get Christian Kirk. I know it's 2 receivers in the top 10. I call them icing. They fit both these situations. San Francisco 49ers went heavy on defense. This year they'll go heavy on offense with the exception of the first pick. They will go get Ohio State's Denzel Ward at corner. They also drafted last year a corner from Colorado. He's promising. San Francisco has a very good front 7. They are below average at corner. Kyle Shanahan, an offensive coach, elevates offensive personnel by his very DNA. They will, keep your eye on San Francisco, in free agency, maybe make an upgrade on the offensive line and at the number 2 receiver spot, number 3 receiver spot. So San Francisco is going to go offense mostly in free agency in the draft, but I think they'll not be able to pass up in elite corner Denzel Ward. And finally, I have Oakland taking a player that virtually none of you watched, Marcus Davenport, a defensive end. Everybody thinks Gruden loves offense, but their O-line's pretty good. Derek Carr's good. They've got a star wide receiver, and they have Khalil Mack. What Oakland needs to do is get people off the field. They've got to get the ball back to Derek Carr and that offensive line and John Gruden. And the way to do it is to draft a pass rushing specialist. So Gruden will go defense with his first pick. And there you have my mock draft. So can we archive that? There it is. My mock draft. I love Joel Klatt and Mel Kiper, but I just couldn't take it anymore. I could not take it anymore. And I feel these all fit. I do think the interesting team to me is Indianapolis at the number 3 spot because they don't need a quarterback. And I do wonder that if the Giants passed on Josh Rosen at 2, which I think is a mistake, do they either draft Rosen and move him or threaten to pick him and have teams like Arizona give them players? That'll be this is a very interesting draft. Cleveland takes Sam Darnold. But if the Giants pass on Rosen, Chris Ballard, their GM, may be sitting there thinking, okay, what's the most valuable position I can get the most picks for? They may take Josh Rosen as a security blanket, though I don't think they'll need it. Andrew Luck's fine. He'll be fine. But it may be because he could also get a pass rusher. They need that. But Saquon Barkley, to me, is that once every 3-4 year running back that is a game changer. He is a game changer. He is a 21 carry, quality kid. He's Ezekiel Elliott with maturity. If Ezekiel Elliott was more mature, that's what you get with Barkley. Big Ten's delivering some running backs to the NFL. Good stuff. Hey, has your company outgrown QuickBooks? Shared spreadsheet? Introducing NetSuite by Oracle. Don't miss out. They have a guide titled Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. Get your free guide today at netsuite.com/herd. The business management software that handles every aspect of your business. Hour 2 coming up.
The Big East SA Night Jam on FS1.